The first thing that we need to do is we need to listen and pay attention to the right things. We need to listen and pay attention to the right things. But listen, we know this. It's never been harder to do that than it is today, right? Let me summarize it this way for you. The world is fighting for your attention. Everywhere we go, every time we open up our phone or see a billboard, everybody wants our attention. The world is fighting for your attention. But listen to me. Your world needs it. The world is fighting for your attention, but your world needs it. Your spouse needs it. Your kids need it. Your schools need it. Your community, your church, your neighbors, your world needs your attention. If you want wisdom, Solomon's saying, don't listen to everything. Make sure you listen and pay attention to the right things. But we've all met people who have heard a lot, but they've learned very little, right? The second part of getting wisdom is not just that we listen, but we have to learn. And the most dangerous moments in life is when we stop learning. When we stop listening to feedback, when we stop being curious and asking questions, when we stop learning from our mistakes. You see, the moment we stop learning is the moment we forsake wisdom. Proverbs chapter 15, starting in verse 31, he says, whoever heeds, which basically means just put into practice, whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. Listen, you can't have wisdom if you think you already know it all. We all make mistakes, but the question isn't whether you're going to make mistakes. The question is whether or not you're going to learn from them. Because growth, it doesn't happen when we pretend to be perfect. Growth happens when we learn from our imperfect moments. One of the reasons Proverbs is so practical is because Solomon continually calls his son, and he calls all of us to be constant learners, especially from our mistakes. If you want wisdom, it begins with listening and paying attention to the right things, and then you must learn what God is teaching us, but it doesn't stop there, because in order for wisdom to be complete, we must live it out. We must live it out, because godly wisdom requires living out what God has taught us. Listen, I'm convinced that we don't have a knowledge problem in our world today. I'm convinced that we have an application problem. Most of the time, we know what to do. As a pastor, I've never sat with somebody who was like, man, does God want me to cheat on my spouse or not? Does God want me to put him first in my finances? Does God want me to forgive? No, we know. Most of the time, we know what to do, but wisdom isn't simply knowing the right path. Wisdom is walking it. And Jesus summarizes how wisdom is completed. I think he summarizes it perfectly in Matthew chapter 11, verse 19. He says, but wisdom is proved right by her deeds. Jesus says wisdom is not about what you know. Wisdom is about what you do. And wisdom is not complete until what you've listened to and what you learned is actually put into practice. See, wisdom requires us to listen to the right things. It requires us to learn what God is teaching us, and then it requires us to live it out. And if you want to put wisdom into practice, especially with our families, and then let me leave us today with one challenge that every single one of us can do, and here's the challenge. Let's build bridges to the people you love. Build bridges to the people you love. You know, there's a lot of walls being built in our society today. And a lot of it is under the umbrella of wisdom and right and wrong. And unfortunately, a lot of these walls are being built within our own homes and in our families. And too many times we build walls and create distance with people that we love the most, but we build bridges and connect with things that don't really matter. What if? What if our wisdom played out by building bridges and connecting with people who we love the most, and we built walls with the things that don't really matter? Wisdom should bring us closer into a relationship with the people that we love the most, not divide us.